What's up, guys? This is Anna coming at you, back with another episode of my podcast, Anna Watches, where I go to special locations like Gonda Theater and record movie reviews. I chose Gonda Theater because it is a center for performing arts here at Georgetown, and the movie today is about the fall of grace of a famous composer. Let's head inside. Tar begins with an interview. Lydia Tar and the interviewer sit on a stage, and we get a glimpse into who this sharp-lined, masculine-presenting, composed woman is. She's a world-renowned composer, with a carefully constructed public face and a disregard for the relationship in her life. Throughout the film, her lack of empathy hurts others and eventually comes back to haunt her. In various scenes, her devoted assistant dotes on her, goes beyond her job, and is implicated as having feelings for her, while Tar does not acknowledge it. She's either ignorant or extremely aware. Based on her character, she likely knows exactly how her assistant feels, and uses this to her advantage. She uses the way people feel towards her, whether it be fear, admiration, love, to manipulate and control the people around her. As the film goes on, Tar tries to hide something. Emails are deleted, conversations stopped, and there's an air of avoidance that surrounds her. Eventually, it becomes clear that a woman who she ousted from her orchestra committed suicide, leaving behind a series of emails blaming Tar for driving her to that point. When it becomes known in the media, things come tumbling down. She is exposed as a manipulator, an abuser, and someone deemed unworthy of a platform. She runs from the past, trying to validate herself throughout the film by saying that artists like Bach are still relevant despite problematic pasts. But even her firm assurances to her students start to wear on her. In one scene, a fellow composer laughs about the domestic abuse committed by one famous composer, and she is visibly critical of his manner. The film is grounded in the context of 2022. The film gives mention to the post-pandemic life, the Me Too movement, and cancel culture. As mentioned, when Tar's past is revealed to the public, she is no longer given a platform in the prestigious places she was before. She's replaced in the Berlin Orchestra by a fellow composer who is seen begging Tar for advice in the beginning of the film. In a titular moment while he performs with the orchestra, she has made almost every decision for her. She runs up on stage and attacks him. Picture it. A crazed woman tackling a man. The music stops, the audience is agape, and two large security guards grab her. She's carried off. The years she spent gaining respect in the industry are gone, and she cannot get back to the top, ever. The end of the film depicts Tar in a foreign country, conducting the orchestra for a video game, with the audience sitting in cosplay outfits from the game. This is her fall from the top of the composing world, and it is now the only place that will accept her after her harmful actions. So, the film is from the perspective of Tar. She's in every single scene, and we realize things as she realizes them, and we are incentivized to feel her emotions. There are many close-up shots of her face. In the attack scene, the audience closely watches her go through the process of denial, anger, and then the impulse to act, and she runs up on stage. And the violence here is extremely powerful. And up until this point, she's been posed as a woman of extreme restraint. For example, when she feels overweight, she doesn't eat anything. When her child is being bullied at school, she calmly goes up to the bully and explains exactly why they need to stop in perfect German. And this is her explosion, and the audience feels it in full. At the beginning of the film, she teaches a class. We see her how she sees herself: in control, powerful, influential. Later, it is found out that someone was recording her, and then they edit the footage to make her look creepy, and as if she's harassing the student that she is speaking to. We see her reaction to it, and she justifies her actions. Phones weren't supposed to be allowed in that class. They edited that footage. The audience asked themselves, did they edit it? How creepy was she? How are her actions interpreted differently than she means them? How does she mean them? Because of this perspective, the film perpetuates the predatory gaze. Tar is the predator, while the people and situations around her are her prey, susceptible to her control and manipulation. A critical audience member is able to discern the difference. And much like people in her life, we feel a distance from her. She isn't relatable, and her actions are difficult to understand. Even so, it shows us the reality of those experiencing cancel culture. While we, as average citizens, are accustomed to being the ones digesting clips, like the edited video mentioned before, rarely are we in the room when it happens, and rarely are we the person themselves. Perhaps some audience members mourn for Tar, while others are disgusted. Regardless, we see the process of her fall from grace. And we see how there are many victims of someone like Tar, not just the woman who committed suicide, but her wife, her assistant, her other students, all the people who are under her sphere of manipulative influence. Interestingly, the film's creators made pointed character choices for Tar. She's a lesbian woman, as opposed to the media's portrayal of straight men as the typical harassers, abusers, and the ones being canceled. The film pushes a narrative that anyone can be susceptible to abusing their power. We also see how Tar turns people, particularly the women in her life, into commodities. Rather than seeing them as multifaceted human beings with feelings and emotions, they are merely methods for her to get what she wants, or steps along the way, which curate her ideal image. In her conversations with women, she does not look at them. She looks in the mirror while speaking to her daughter. She talks to her wife only while she is hugging her, and they do not make eye contact. She looks out the window of the car while talking to her assistant. Meanwhile, she is often directly looking at the men she speaks to. Despite being a woman, her manipulation and power has driven her to see herself as an equal to men and above other women. She is perpetuating the place of women in society, despite being a woman herself. It might even be more harmful than what men do. Who knows? Thank you so much for listening in. I want you guys to tell me your thoughts. Did you like the film? Did you hate it? Did you like my review? Did you hate it? Either way, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. I'll see you next time. Bye.